Hello, friends, and welcome to Too Hot for Love.
We are a recap and react podcast to whatever reality dating show is out there right now.
And currently, that is the second season of MILF Manor. We are recapping episode 8 today of season 2, and it is a spicy one full of heartbreak and betrayal and butt biting. So stick around, like the video, because we know you like these. You made it to like the 8th episode of it now, right?
Mm-hmm. You like this so much.
Oh my God.
Saige, do you have an announcement?
I do, actually, yeah. This channel is splitting up into 2 channels. Don't worry, nothing is going anywhere far. We are splitting into 2 channels. The channel will be linked in the description below. So this show is moving over to youtube.com/pixelpopculture right now. The other channel is called Pixel Pop. It's going to be where all of our pop culture content lives. So this show and It's Too Early will be over there just so people can subscribe and get exactly what it is that they like in case you're not into reality TV and Dungeons and Dragons, which is an interesting combo and most of what our content is. So click that link, subscribe. This show will be moving over there in like a week or 2 so that we give you a little bit of runway, a little time to make sure that you don't miss out on anything. But do pop over there because you're going to love what's there for you. There's going to be room for us to make all kinds of other new, fun, and exciting things by having 2 channels to do it on. So don't panic when you don't see this one here anymore. You have the info. Run with it.
Anyway, I'm Kendelle Lynn.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And we're going to cue the intro.
We can just jump in to episode 8 of season 2 of MILF Manor.
What amazing.
What a absolutely ridiculous episode. I feel like we were screaming an extra amount this time.
Yeah, but it was because of the betrayal that Anthony did onto us.
Truly, I honestly think that so much of this episode was just us feeling devastated by Anthony's choices. Mm-hmm. We were rooting for you, Anthony. We were all rooting for you.
What happened? I can't believe it has come to this, but do I like Joey more than Anthony?
This episode? 100%. 100%.
Joey had some good points. Anthony didn't.
No. Look, I am running for public office on the platform of sending all men to prison. Starting with Anthony.
Yeah.
Starting with the men who we thought were going to be okay that betrayed us. Now, did he literally betray us? No, technically he betrayed Lynette. But I feel betrayed.
As girls,
yes,
we are betrayed. We are betrayed for Lynette. Okay?
Okay, right. So let's go in order. Let's start off where the episode left off. Mm-hmm. Starting here, we have picking up on the first date of the new contestants. At the end of last episode, we had 2 new people enter the house. That is Shauna and Rebecca. Look at that. We updated the board. We got them up here. And that was just after we said goodbye. Our fallen soldiers down here. Miles, Michael, Ashley, and Jacob have joined Jamie, hiding behind the couch now.
Involuntarily.
Yes, correct. They were
off.
Sent home for not making any connections.
It's so funny that they would do that after or before introducing 2 new women. They knew exactly what they were doing.
100%. Because they got rid of all of the single people and then put in 2 new women when there were no available men.
Yeah.
Messed up. But that's like, reality TV.
Is the fire code to this house like 20 people?
That's it. They could not have 2 more. You would think the solution would be stop adding new people. But no, it's not the solution this season. This season is such a high turnover rate.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
It's a little much for me, in my opinion, but that was where we left off in last episode. So we were picking up at the start of what the actual date was. I feel like last episode was so eventful. I forgot that we didn't even see the date because we were so upset that the date was happening in general. So as a reminder, Anthony and Joey separately both won the challenge last episode, and they got to choose who they were taking on a date, and they chose the 2 new contestants, Rebecca and Shauna. That's Joey with Shauna, Anthony with Rebecca.
Devastating. Devastating for Kelly and Lynette.
And
I think more so for Lynette
100%
than Kelly.
more for Lynette. 100% more for Lynette. Kelly is interested in a few people and whatever, and there is nobody up until now where we're seeing some with Kelly and Darren. There's been nobody in the house that it's felt like had a more strong relationship forming than Anthony and Lynette.
And he just threw that out the window.
Somebody new walks in, and this man just throws out everything he has, and I I hate the way he's
Yeah.
handling it. Last episode, he sat down and was like, but you're like a cool, not jealous girl, right? Like, you wouldn't have a problem with me like going on a date
Yeah.
with another woman. You wouldn't be like that, right?
This is like a dating show, right? And we should date around to
Yeah.
find out who we really like, right? On this dating
Yeah.
show that we're on together.
Yeah. You're not like a mean prude, are you?
No.
You wouldn't want to be like one of those girls,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, if a new man came in, you can obviously date him if you wanted. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
That's exactly the vibe. That's 100% the vibe. That's 100% the vibe. That's so his vibe.
And he just like kept saying that throughout this episode too, and I was
Ick. A big ick. So the challenge for this one, they go back to, I think it is literally the same space. I think it is the garage. I think it is legitimately the garage. And I think it is the same space they were doing the tantric yoga. Joey walks in and is like, I'm having horrifying flashbacks.
Wait, but I feel like tantric yoga was like a real place.
I'm
To
not
me, it was
sure
a real place.
I think this all might be happening in the garage.
Oh my gosh, I think you might be right.
They're not leaving the house this season, and I don't know what the budget restrictions are that are causing this, but I do want you all to know that we have a message out to Joey right now, and I will update you if we get a response, because we did ask if all of the dates are inside the house, and I want answers to this.
I also want
But
answers.
it did look like the same space to me.
Yeah.
And they had 2 mats laid out and a bunch of paints, and the date idea for this one is
body painting.
just covering each other in paint. There wasn't really...
Yeah.
I would think there's like a step 2,
No.
but it's just like there's...
Yeah.
mats and a tarp kind of on the ground.
And buckets of paint, and then they said, go for it.
I would think, again, this just feels budget restricted, but like they didn't even have like canvases. You know what I mean? Where like,
It was
but
just
like we've seen on other reality shows this be a challenge where it's like painting with your body.
Yeah,
on
and
a
then they would put it
canvas.
up and
Yeah.
like maybe not judge it, but like, wow, look at
what we made.
Look at our work of
Yeah.
art. No, this one was like
No.
bed sheets they got from Costco.
Yeah.
And put it on the ground.
And they didn't really tell them what to do with it. They were just like, here's
Here.
paint. So the 2 different people on dates, the 2
Yes.
different pairings, had very different interpretations of
Yeah.
that because no
Well,
one told them what to do.
Luckily, I will say for Joey, he didn't have to touch his dad at all.
Bless.
Bless for
Hey,
Joey.
we're so happy for you, Joey. Given my man-hating behavior, I'm not sure if you still watch the podcast, but and I do stand by it. But if you do, we're very happy for you that you did not have to romantically touch your father this episode.
I know that sounds crazy to say, but it's something we have to say on this podcast because of the show.
This is very unique to MILF Manor.
It's very unique.
Very unique to it. So immediately, Rebecca and Anthony get right into it.
Yeah. By the way, they're told to change into like bathing suits that were
Yes.
provided for them, and they're all wearing like all white for the paint. You
The
know?
women are wearing all white, but for some reason, Anthony and Joey are wearing blue shorts.
Oh.
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah. Well, the women are wearing white bikinis, so that's obviously like wow for
Yeah.
Anthony.
100%.
He takes the opportunity to just start kissing her all over the place.
Immediately.
But with like red paint on their lips, and he's like, let me put red paint on your lips, and
Whore.
they kiss each
Him,
other.
to be clear.
Yeah. Anthony.
We have nothing negative to say about these women that just got here and are playing the show they're on. But Anthony,
Taking every opportunity to just touch her however he wants, because that's what the challenge calls for.
Anthony, you sly.
How could you? Okay, and I will say Rebecca was loving it, so it didn't seem like it was unconsensual.
Oh no, 100%.
non-consensual.
That's not the problem.
Yeah,
That's not the problem.
The problem is that it was a big betrayal. Okay.
And you know what else the problem is? One of the first things he does, he bites her butt. He bites Rebecca's butt.
Saige.
Now we know where Joey learned this behavior.
Saige screamed. That's where Joey got it from.
Because who else does that? That's not a normal thing to do.
But he did. So they kiss each other's cheeks with red paint, and then he goes right for the butt, and it was like war flashbacks to butt biting.
My first notes in here are all caps. Oh my God, Anthony butt bit. That's where Joey gets it. First notes in here, episode 8
That's
notes.
where Joey gets
That's
it.
where he gets it. I also have Shauna is leaving room for Jesus with Joey.
yeah. So like Rebecca and Anthony, they're starting to like roll on the ground. They're starting to roll on top of each other.
It's like laying on top of each other covered in paint. They're not painting anything. They're not trying to do anything on the like tarp below them.
They're just rolling around in paint. Actually, have you ever heard of this brand? I forgot what it's called. It's like Love something. It's basically sending a paint kit to couples to have fun time on the bed with, but it's on the ground.
Cute.
And then you would send the painting back to them because it's actually on canvas, and they would like frame it for you,
Wow.
or they could even like resin it for you so it's like hard and shiny.
That's beautiful. That's
I feel
lovely.
like that's what this is.
Well-
but they never did anything with the painting.
Yeah. If they had been instructed to actually try and make a piece of art or interested in
Yeah.
doing so, I do feel like Shauna is trying to. Shauna talks a little bit. We get a little more insight into Shauna's life. She talks about her father being an artist and how much like watching him inspired her and how much like she loves art because of it and feels like an artist, and that's like where her soul is basically.
Yeah.
And Joey's like, I'm just trying not to look at my dad.
I know, he compared it to
Ugh.
having like horse blinders. You don't want to look too far to the left, too far to the right. You kind of just want to look in your lane.
But they cut to immediately after that a point where Shauna is like, you know, she just talked about her relationship with art and all of these things. And she's like putting a little paint on him and he's just staring at his dad rolling around on the floor with Rebecca. We do get a confessional from Joey where, I hate to say this, Joey makes some very good points. And he's like, I don't know, man. Seems like he's kind of doing a lot with Rebecca here. I really feel like Lynette's better for him.
Yeah, Joey was saying that Lynette's
Slay.
better because he has just noticed that she's like lovely and kind to everyone and nice to everyone, considerate, and like they don't really know Rebecca
Facts.
really, but he
Slay.
thinks that Rebecca is stuck in her 20s. That's exactly what he said.
Which I don't like, not even as an insult. She
Yeah.
is a little more like playful and immature. And she is allowed to be. Absolutely. And for some reason, the blame just keeps coming to her of like coming into the house and like flirting with these men, and not the men who are making like commitments and relationships with these other women. It's so weird how that always happens. I can't imagine why that is. Can't imagine what that's about. How interesting. But these two are just kind of like at a distance.
Yeah, Joey and
little
Sean are
paint.
definitely leaving like not only Jesus, but like the Holy Spirit and Mary.
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
The
"Can't-
Father,
I'm trying
the
to
Son,
name one
and the
more
Holy
biblical
Spirit.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, okay,
Yeah,
nice,
but it was really
okay.
cute because Shauna was like painting flowers and Joey was really like into it.
Yeah.
He was asking her all types of questions about like, are you enjoying yourself? Is this fun for you? And the
Yeah.
music back there was like really nice. It almost made it seem like the date was genuine and fun while you just have like
They're just
two
on
wild
the
people.
ground, just like,
No, yeah, they're at one point Anthony is doing push-ups and Rebecca
yeah,
is on
his back. They're just sitting there like,
and Joey's like legitimately
Oh,
trying to take this
like a
date
little flower?
seriously.
That's nice. Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got Anthony trying to use paint as lube.
That's what and he's taking every opportunity to get every like part of his body to touch every part of Rebecca's body.
Truly. And like Rebecca's having fun with it, and that's cool. And Rebecca's allowed to. Anthony's
Yeah.
not.
Anthony's not allowed to. Anthony
Sir.
made a commitment to Lynette. Basically, you can't cuddle on the couch and kiss and say you're having the best time and ask her to go to the Realfie room with you and then just go on some other date.
Nope.
And start rolling all over the place with your son next to you.
Yeah,
Your son's
with the
like
woman
a
you just
foot
met.
away from you.
And your son right there. He doesn't mind doing anything with his son next to him, apparently.
Oh, that's right. He was
been
like, don't turn around. Don't
Yeah.
look over here, Joey.
gross. Weird. So weird. Anthony's being so weird. Anthony, your fall from grace. Good Lord.
Oh my God.
From the top, from the very tippy top of our favoritist of
Yeah.
the men in the house to hell.
Yeah, it was like season 8 of Game of Thrones. That's what it felt like.
Honestly. We'll never forgive you.
We'll never forgive you.
We'll never forgive you for what you did to us,
Yeah.
Anthony.
And you made it seem like Joey's respectful. What happened?
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Shauna does actually do a little bit of work on the canvas stuff. Here's what I'll say for the vibes between Shauna and Joey. Though it is a sweet date, it is not a romantic date. There is no chemistry
It
between
doesn't
them.
seem like there's chemistry.
It seems like, oh, we're having a nice time, but there is absolutely no romantic chemistry between them so far.
Even though Shauna's saying that he is sweet and she didn't really say mature. She just said like,
No. Respectful.
yeah.
She said that he was very respectful and that she had a good time, but that doesn't mean they're like, into each
Yeah.
other. I think you can have like a fine time on a date
Yeah,
and
you
not
can have
be
fun.
like romantically interested.
Mhm.
So that's kind of it for the dates. They just roll around in some paint.
Yeah.
And they come back to the house covered in the paint, which again
leads
us to believe that this date is happening in the
garage. I know.
Stop swearing.
Because you were like, they drove all the way to the house in paint,
No, they did
and we're
not.
like, wait a minute, no, it's in the house.
It's 100%
They walked
in the house.
up the stairs
Absolutely.
into the living room.
Yeah.
But during their date, we had like 2 mini dates with Kelly and Connor. One of them was Kelly and Connor. They're just kind of
Kelly
talking.
with an E, Disco Mommy.
Disco Mommy. And they're just kind of talking about. Connor said he's so into health. Like, that's his passion. That's his, like, I think he said that's his calling.
Okay.
Health is Connor's calling. We're like, okay, you guys have fun. I don't really care about you. But
don't
what
care.
I want to talk about is Chris and Barbie. Okay, so they're in the kitchen. It was kind of wild how they started the scene, but they start, you know, in movies when people are like getting hot and heavy and they like throw stuff off the kitchen counter. And
Yeah.
that's what it felt like to me. I thought they were about to make out on the kitchen counter.
I thought they were about to go at it on the kitchen counter.
Yeah, but no, they just like push stuff aside on the kitchen counter so that Chris can lay down and Barbie can take body shots off of him. Let me tell you, I bet you Chris has never, ever once cleaned his belly button. I am not taking a shot of any type of hard alcohol in that man's belly button.
Listen, I told you this. I didn't actually really know what a body shot was.
Yeah.
I had never seen it actually happen. I had seen people like it was always women laying on the table for body shots. But I never watched someone actually do it, and I didn't realize that it was pouring it in their belly button and letting it like drip.
Yeah.
I was gagging. This is disgusting.
Yeah, he's
Now,
never cleaned it.
That's the thing. It was so much grosser on him because like women are just traditionally cleaner.
Yes.
Like it is just at least in like I don't know, current American culture, women just clean their bodies better.
Yeah.
So watching it out of a man's belly button, I wanted to throw up.
Same.
I truly wanted to throw up. And people weren't partying. Like the day,
no, it was
the house was not like on this level.
It was just
and it feels
them
like this
two.
is a party activity, right?
It totally
do
is a party activity.
people do that? Hey, I would like to know from any of you, and I know that this is so not our audience, so the answer is going to be no from anybody. Have any of you ever done body shots, just like hanging
casually,
out? Like you and one other person? Like,
yeah.
Can I take a shot out of your belly button?
Saige, I think after this podcast, you and I should go to the kitchen just take a
Let's
body
just
shot.
Body shots, honestly.
No,
At
that's what it
least
felt like.
I trust that you clean your belly button.
Thank you. I do clean my belly button. Chris, do you? Just saying, men, do you?
The vibe is not clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does, I guess, what is the other type of body shot? I'm learning a lot from this, which is grabbing a shot glass like out of from between her boobs.
Yeah, and you could also I've seen it like where people put it like in their waistband or like in between their boobs. But that's coming from a shot glass. Like there's an actual
Completely
like container there.
Completely different.
It's like
It seemed like this was Barbie's idea, so like love that for her. Clearly something she wanted.
I just want her to do it out of a clean orifice. That's
I do not understand why she wanted it. I do not relate to her desire in any capacity, but I support you.
If she's happy taking a shot out of a dirty belly button, I guess, I'm happy too.
I guess I do.
And then the double date comes home from painting, They come up the stairs from painting.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the living room hanging out. And Lynette sees Anthony and Rebecca come upstairs having the best awesome time.
Yeah, giggling, touching, covered in paint, and
Rebecca's
she's like devastated.
Woo!
Right. Rebecca is the quintessential woo girl.
Oh my gosh, she's the woo girl.
She is 100% the woo girl. Non-derogatory. Love that for her. And obviously Lynette looks devastated, as makes sense for her to be. And Anthony walks over and is like, we see his confessional of being like, I got to take the time to make this right.
You didn't have to do it in the first place.
Now, mind you, I'm going to give you a spoiler right here. He's not about to make anything right. He takes her out of the room. He's like, do you have a minute? And she's like, sure. And he goes and he sits her down on a bed. And he opens with this. Do you trust me?
You trust me?
And then she's like, so far, unless you make me not, you do something that doesn't
Launch
make
him
me trust you.
into space. Into the sun with you, Anthony.
That's wild. Also, Before this talk, they're like talking about showering and getting off the paint before they all get into the hot tub. And by all, I mean the double date.
Yeah. So this is a pit stop in between continuing this double date. So he's going to go back out with her. But he sits there and he's like, listen, you know, like, I really do feel like what you and I have is really special. So, like, I'd like to keep going. And she's like, okay, I mean, yeah, we can, like, hang out, I guess. Like, don't make her that pizza. And he's like, aha, all right. Anyways, I'm going to go get naked in the hot tub with her, basically.
Yeah, but also, you know, Lynette's not in a good place and says, don't make that be a pizza. Like, we don't have to call her that.
Yeah, that's true.
You could call Anthony a bitch, but like
exactly, and I think you should. But I really do think the women in this house just keep calling, especially Rebecca for some reason.
I think because she's a woo girl.
I guess, and it's like a lot of internalized misogyny is showing, and I think that this gets into a kind of like an age demographic thing too, of like it is taken generations to get to where we are right now and like learning to undo the internalized misogyny of hating other women and hating the stereotypes of women, like women that do things that are traditionally viewed as something that like men like. There's a level of the like, I'm not like other girls. There's a level of the hating the woo girl or whatever. And instead of these people holding the men accountable for their actions and behaviors, the men who actually are in some form of commitment with you,
the ones
you're
making the choices
the
here.
Women who just got here, who don't know you, who don't have any context into your relationship and insight into it, and who have no commitment to you. But of course, it's the woman's fault.
It's the woman's fault.
The amount of times in these 2 episodes that women in this house, specifically Lynette, I believe that you can do better, keep calling these girls bitches. And I'm just like, first of all, learn another word.
Yeah.
I'm also like, hey, what if we just even stepped outside of gendered insults? What if we even dipped our toes starting there and then we got to not blaming the women? What if that was on the path there?
We dipped our toes in calling them jerks.
Yeah.
And then said, wait, Anthony's the jerk here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, call her an asshole,
Yeah.
sure. But like, we have to stop casually throwing this around. And it's very much that like, it's a very, and man, the internet already hates me for saying bad things about Gen X, but it really is still like a very Gen X thing.
Yeah.
To speak like that about other women. It's one of those things where like girls our age most of the time would not even like think to. Like it would be kind of unthinkable to speak like that. And the thing you would have to do to bring that out of somebody would be very intense. So it is a bummer to see them all throwing it around so casually. But
yeah.
They
Well,
do.
I guess like Gen X grew up in a generation that was like going through like women's suffrage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like they had this already internalized misogyny, whereas we're almost like a generation or 2 below that.
Yeah.
And we're learning about how women should have rights and like we
Right.
don't have to have this internalized misogyny.
And learning that like all of that was created by men.
Yes.
Like literally
Men created those systems.
Yeah, 100%. And they are all on a show where they are literally competing for men, and it is
Yes.
bringing out the worst.
It is.
Because of it. But like, yeah, that's brutal. That's the part that's like, ugh, hard to watch, hard to root for anybody who's participating in it. But
Yeah.
also like, we know it, we understand it, we just don't agree with it. I don't know. It's not like she's coming in and being like, oh my God, like, you like big oil? That's crazy. I actually like have always been really interested. Could you tell me more? I'm kind of like, I don't really know anything, but I'd love to know more about big oil. They're manic pixie dream girling Rebecca.
Oh my gosh, they are.
They're manic pixie dream girling Rebecca. I know we're throwing a lot of terms at you right now, but I believe in you. I think you've got it. They're manic pixie dream girling Rebecca, and I understand why you are all hating that the men are doing that, but your anger is misplaced. That's all.
Yes.
Shauna's just vibing on the other hand.
She is.
She's absolutely just like, I'm not involved in any of this. And because she's not as like forward with everybody, she's not getting the same like vitriol that Rebecca is getting. Rebecca is like going and sitting in between the uncle nephew duo and being like, oh my God, like you're going to the spa, like going to the sauna. I want to come to the sauna. Like, what should I wear? And they're like, as little as possible. And she's like, yeah. And like, go. Yeah, absolutely.
The
Go off.
spectrum of outgoingness between Rebecca and Shauna is just very vast. So like, you know, I think that's why we're getting a lot of shots with Rebecca and less so with Shauna. Shauna seems like she has like a more serious relationship. Like I'm looking for this type of like I don't know, storyline.
Mhm.
And then Rebecca's like the woo girl storyline,
Yeah.
where every woman hates her and every guy's trying to be with her, or something like that.
To contrast this, we have a wholesome moment beginning, but it begins very unwholesome. Kelly Mack comes down and asks Darren to go to the bath with her. She's like, I really want him to kiss me. We haven't had our first kiss. And she just wants to kiss. And that's so cute and so wholesome. What's less wholesome is when she approaches him and invites him to do so. He's like, oh, do you want me to get up? And she's like, uh-huh. And he, sitting next to his son, like this, sitting
close.
next to his son, goes, I don't even need the crutches. I've got a third leg.
It started so wholesome with him saying, I'm out of here, boys. You know, and like I'm going to go on a date with my woman to talking about having a third leg.
We get a traumatized confessional from Sam being like, I cannot believe you would say that in front of me. I would never say something like that in front of you and Mom. What the hell, dude?
And Darren is like, you have never said something in front of me and Mom that you regret?
And Sam's like, yeah, no, I wouldn't say I wouldn't talk about a third appendage in front of you, no. And Darren's just giggling. He's just giggling about it.
So funny to me. I can't.
So silly, but also, oh my God, that's disgusting in front of your son.
I love Darren.
Gross.
I think that's so
but also very
funny.
and
It's almost like he was embarrassing Sam. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It felt like it's
like
almost
he's just
like
poking
when
him a little bit.
you pick up your like kid from school and you like blast like some like Britney Spears or something.
Yeah.
And like they're all embarrassed. That's what that moment felt like.
Talking about your penis. Kind of like that. It's
We
kinda
don't
like
need that.
It's kind of like that.
Anyway, the bathtub.
So wholesome, so cute. They do share a very wholesome kiss.
Yeah.
It's the first kiss I think I've seen on the show that wasn't icky.
Oh my God, it was romantic.
It was romantic. It was sweet. They also just didn't show us like their tongues trying to consume each other, so it might have just been an angle thing.
Also,
get the
men out of hot water. I think Saige and I finally figured it out. I actually think it has to do with somehow women being able to withstand hot water, which is why there's like that trope of women showering with the hottest fucking
like
water.
Scalding.
Yeah, scalding water, right? And men just can't handle that. I think that's what's happening in the hot tubs, in these bathtubs.
Yeah.
Darren is so red.
He's so red, and his face looks so just like sweaty and stressed. Now, this is the third man that we have seen struggle in hot water. It was Joey, it was Chris, and now it's Darren. So it is proving just that, like, I really do think it is men just can't handle hot water, and they can't handle their faces while they're doing it. But also don't adjust the situation at all to make themselves comfortable.
Yeah, no. But Kelly Mack is having, like, the best time. She looks like an angel in the bathtub.
She does, honestly. She's so beautiful. And they're in, like, swimsuits in the bathtub, and it's very wholesome. And they're, like, talking about this connection, and she's talking about how, like, she feels like everything basically happens for a reason, and they were brought together by all of these circumstances and everything they've been through. Darren tears up.
Oh, my God, yeah. He said this was, like, emotional for him to talk about. I love them.
It was such a sweet moment.
I can't wait to see if they're still together or not.
Know.
Oh my gosh.
Darren said, when I woke up this morning, you were the first thing on my mind.
Darren! I love that for you. Kelly Mack, I love this for you.
I love this for you guys. That was so cute and so sweet.
We want men who think of us in the morning.
And he called her baby.
He did. Oh my God. They're holding hands too.
Really cute. Really adorable, sweet moment. They keep kissing in the bath. It is such a reprieve to have one nice thing happening in this house right now.
This is my question for you. Who do you think put Darren in the bathtub? Producers or like grips, gaffers, a PA? Do you think it was Kelly Mack? You know he needed help getting in that bathtub.
He had to be lifted in.
I definitely think someone was there to help him, right? And then, like, to get him out, do you think they gave him a chair so he could towel off? Or do you think he stood and someone else toweled him off? Like, he can towel himself. His arms work. Yeah, but he needs to get out of the bath first to do it.
I'd like to think that that got relegated to a PA.
I know. I also like to think it's a PA.
There's like a really strong PA that had to cradle him into the bathtub.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think he put both hands up. And the neck like this. I'd like to think there was a wrap around the neck. For those who listen in audio form, here's the value of checking out the video on YouTube.
Yeah. It's a good clip, I swear.
That's so funny. I didn't think of that at all. And that's also like when it's like, oh, he didn't adjust anything for his comfort. He couldn't. Once he was in it.
He couldn't.
Once he was in it, it is what it is.
I do think they do a good job of making us forget he has crutches.
Except for when the challenge comes up.
Oh, yeah.
But as a reminder, he has like a broken foot and is on crutches for this entire stint of this.
Mm-hmm.
More hot water. We cut over to men in other hot water.
Do we?
Anthony and Joey in the hot tub.
Oh, that's
with Rebecca
right.
and Shauna.
Oh, that's right. I freaking hate Anthony.
Truly. And honestly, there's really nothing happening between Shauna and Joey except for like
They
a little
hold
handhold.
hands.
They just kind of like, and it was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Like, they're feeling each other, but I don't know if they're feeling each other because this is the first date Shauna's been on.
Yeah.
And Joey was respectful and Joey was respectful of her body during body painting, and
God, the bar is in hell.
Joey was there. Dead.
But also just like, oh yeah, he didn't like, rub his hands all over her on the first date. Wow,
Yeah.
how nice.
I mean, honestly, if I was on a double date and I saw the other two just going at it on the ground, I'd be like, wow, I'm having a really good time. Like,
I would be very
would-
glad
yeah.
to be on the other side,
Which
for
would
sure.
make me like my date more.
To not be dry humping in paint. So, something Anthony says here that also made me think that he should go to prison is they're talking about it, and Rebecca's like, I think the other girls in the house hate us and hate me. And it's not unreasonable that you are picking up on that vibe. They do hate you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But she makes a note to say, like, oh, because we're new here.
Yeah.
They already have like a thing going.
And Anthony goes, yeah, they're jealous of you.
They're
insecure.
intimidated.
They're intimidated because you're the prettiest girls here.
What a crazy line to say after you just had a talk with Lynette about how you guys are totally still gonna hang out, how you guys are like, basically you're saying Lynette's your number one, and you go out to the hot tub and say some other girl's the prettiest girl there. Even Joey knew that was wrong.
Yeah, Joey's face is like, oh,
Okay, Dad.
He should not have said that. And again, I can't believe you're making us take Joey's side in this. I really cannot believe you are making me do this. I cannot believe you are making me be like, Joey is being more mature than you. Oh my God. What is happening? What did you do, Anthony? Like, you see Joey's face, and we get another confessional from Joey, and this all seems like probably cut out of the same confessional, where he's like, I would not entertain two women like that. I don't think that they like this. I don't think that this is, like, cool of him to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's completely right. And, like, good on Joey for actually saying his dad is wrong.
Yes.
Because a lot of the boys in his house definitely have a complex with their father, as I think a lot of young men do if they have a father in their lives in general.
Absolutely.
Is that, like, my dad can do no wrong, my dad is always right kind of
Mhm.
idea. And good on him for going in there and being like, absolutely not. He's, like, being a player.
Yeah.
And it's not cool to do to these women.
And Joey even says that women won't like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he even knows women won't like this. He doesn't even like it himself, and he knows women won't.
Right.
Anthony, shouldn't you also know?
Here's the thing, he does know. I refuse to give him the pass that he doesn't know. He 100% knows, and that's why he is actively trying to manipulate Lynette.
You called it.
Because, you know why?
Mm.
So we saw it last episode when he did the, like, you don't have a problem, right? But the episode before that, or 2 episodes before that, when they went on their date, their first, like, actual date, I was like, this is either really good or really bad. I would like to pull up the moment. I'll try to find it in the podcast where he's saying all of these things, and I was like, ooh, he's either being very sweet or very manipulative.
Yes.
And it turns out it was always manipulative because it's very clear that is like a strategy of his, and he is willing to try and control women's emotions and use them against each other. And I am so grossed out by it. I'm so absolutely disgusted because it's so above and beyond of even just like, oh yeah, I'm like really blatantly playing these women. Instead, he's like screwing with their emotions in a way that is so deep and gross.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So
disgusting.
horrible.
I think Anthony is manipulative, and I think he's a garbage man. And that's that.
That's that.
The challenge is up next.
Mm-hmm. Crystal gets a text message about asking the men to change into their sexiest underwear.
And some took that very differently than others.
Yeah. Some people chose really fun, like underwear, whereas Chris went ahead and just put on a thong, a little Speedo.
A lot of different interpretations on their sexiest underwear, and that's fair enough. And you and I both were like, photos? Are they going to have to do the photos? Is it their turn? Is it their turn? Is it their turn? We were so excited hoping that they were going to have to send their, like, do the sexy photo shoot back. But no, what we got was so much weirder.
They went into the backyard, and there was, like, a big giant board with holes in it. And pictures of peaches above the holes. And we're
Barbie,
like, what?
Barbie immediately goes, those are glory holes.
Obviously, our mind is like, they can't stick their junk through this because it's TV. But you know what they can do? Have the women stick their arms through the holes to feel up junk. And we're like, there's no way they're going to feel up junk. There's pictures of peaches on the boards. So they're going to stick their arms through the holes to feel up the butts.
But no. It's so much worse. It's so much worse. They're sticking their asses through these holes. Darren is hosting because he can't, like, you know, stand to get his butt in the hole. And he just keeps calling them the buttholes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That wild. Also, everyone else is like, everyone's in like briefs or something.
Just Chris.
And Chris is the only one with bare cheeks.
Absolutely cheeks out.
So hairy, so nude.
That's, to me, that confirmed that man does not wash his belly button. Because he does not wash his ass either.
Oh yeah, and we were definitely thinking, which one of these men actually washes their butthole? And okay, it's different from like standing in the shower and letting soap run down there, or like spreading your cheeks and just like facing that towards the water.
Sure.
I'm talking about washing your butthole.
And after looking over our board, what did we determine?
None of them.
Not one.
We don't think a single one of them washes like their actual butthole. You don't have to use your fingers, guys. They're like, okay, if that grosses you out, sure. There are tools that you can get at Simply Target that can help you wash your butthole. You can use like this part of your thumb so it's not like, you know what I'm saying? You like, I don't know if they think they're gonna accidentally finger themselves or something by washing their butthole. It's not going to happen. Just wash it. It's not enough to have soap run down there, and it's not enough to just spread your cheeks in open water, okay? You need to do something. Like, what is the fear of men washing their buttholes?
I think they just don't think about hygiene.
That's crazy to me.
I really do think they just don't. I think a lot of, like, straight cis men just don't think about hygiene. Like, they don't think about being clean.
Probably not.
Like, I think they think about, like, showering so they don't smell, but that's in, like, a being perceived kind of way.
I see what you're saying.
You know? But I think that, like, they don't think about, like, actual cleanliness for themselves. I don't think any of these men do.
Yeah, I think you're right. But, like, that begs the question, do they wash their balls? Because, like, if they wash their balls, their butt's right there. You know, just keep going.
God, I don't want to think about these
Just
men's
go
balls.
a little further. Anyway, so the men have to like squat into these holes to stick their butts through, and then they have all the women blindfolded so that each of them can come up one at a time,
Right.
unblindfolded, to start like using all 5 senses to guess whose butt's who.
Hey, everybody, for a second, think about all 5 senses.
What is that? That's smell? That's touch? That's sight? That's hearing? That's wait, that's
and
hearing?
taste.
And taste. Are they gonna hear buttholes? They're gonna hear their butts.
They're gonna taste them.
Yeah.
They're gonna listen to the sound of the smack. They're gonna take a whiff.
Yeah, a lot of the women are like 5 senses. I ain't smelling buttholes.
Absolutely not.
You shouldn't.
You really shouldn't.
And I thought that no one would like. You know what? I lied. When they said 5 senses, I immediately thought people would start licking cheeks.
Gross.
And by people, I meant like Christina. And Barbie.
Yeah. It's like the difference of like Barbie would do so in a funny way,
Yes.
like ooh, I'm being a goof, and
Yes.
Christina is like put it in my mouth, dude.
I need it.
Christina's the horniest person I've ever seen.
I need your butt cheek in my mouth immediately.
I've ever seen. So who was up first on this challenge?
I don't know. I guess we can just go.
Yeah,
like
we'll just go in our own order. It doesn't matter. We're going in our order. Starting then down here, Kelly Mack. Kelly was so, she was like, I come from a very conservative background. This is definitely out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to do it.
Let's do it.
She basically hover hands all the butts.
She used like the tippiest tip of her
just like,
fingertips.
And like hovers past other ones, does not want to get in there, really didn't want to touch. Lynette didn't either.
Lynette, yeah.
Lynette also was not wanting to touch these butts.
Yeah. She did a little like
every
light grips.
She got light grip, but she gave a lot of like, okay, that's enough of that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, I guess.
Christina. Oh my gosh, Christina was going ham on these.
Ripped the blindfold off. She couldn't wait to get to these butts, dude. God, she can't wait to touch people.
Mm-hmm. She was smacking. She was gripping. She was like, I guess she was kissing some. I don't actually remember.
Yeah.
She bit one.
Okay. So she decides that first, I don't understand what this means.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to get back at Joey.
And she thinks that the furthest left butt is Joey. Like, she's determined that this juicy butt is Joey. And she's like, I'm going to get back at him. I'm going to bite this butt.
And she's like, I'm going to leave him a bruise like he left on me. First of all, I didn't know he bit that hard.
Yeah, crazy.
In the hot tub. And also, that was supposed to be a sexy thing.
It was.
So I don't know what you think is happening here when you're like, I'm going to get back at him. I'm going to leave a bruise on him by biting his butt. You guys, don't make this a thing.
Mm-mm.
Don't make this a thing.
It's not
Please
a
stop.
thing.
It's not a thing.
And
she bites down instead on Sam's butt.
And Sam is like clenching his jacket so that he doesn't make a sound.
Because it seems like she's biting really hard.
Dude, I'm sure
she's trying to take a chunk with her.
I think she's taking a chunk. Dude, I'm sure there's like a bruise 100% on Sam's butt right now.
She literally says, once again, because she'll take every opportunity to bring it up, she's like, I'm into BDSM and all this stuff, so I'm ready for this. I'm in. And I'm like,
complete opposite
girl,
side of the
it.
butthole board is Anthony. And Anthony decided to wear like leather briefs.
Yes, he did.
Which excited Christina so much.
So much.
She kept talking about how she's into BDSM. Is this guy into BDSM? Ooh, leather, leather, leather. And she's feeling up this leather.
Him wearing leather made me so ick. But
I'm
it's
sure
also
it was
because
like
he's ick.
Yeah.
If he hadn't been ick, we'd have been like, ooh, fun.
Ooh, so
oh,
fun.
wow.
Anthony's
And
so
now,
funny. Oh my gosh. What are you trying to do?
Kelly, Disco Mommy, also is in it. Hands in there, wants to rub and touch, has a lot of opinions on butts.
Like, at one point, one of the men was like, ooh, get ready, guys.
Yeah, right?
Like, prepare.
But what no one was prepared for was her going for Joey's butt and it tickled.
So we thought Joey was like playing around with
Because he
the
kept
hole.
like moving his butt out of it and like back in.
And we thought it was like in a teasing way. It was like, ooh, you can't touch my butt. No, I guess he was getting tickled the entire time. So every time Kelly tried to like touch his butt, he just kept getting ticklish.
He was like, she just has those like long nails she's going in with.
Snap. Smells fresh.
And then that gave me way too much of like a visual of what she was doing exactly,
So
I guess.
funny.
But that's so incredibly funny. That he was so ticklish. He gets tickled multiple times
Yeah.
throughout it.
That's true, because every once in a while we'll see him like scoot in. We're like, oh, it's because he's getting tickled.
Yeah,
isn't he?
100%. It's because he's getting tickled, and that's so funny. I feel like Barbie has a pretty normal go of it, but she does like, she definitely gets in there
And she definitely realizes which butt is Chris.
immediately.
I don't know if that has to do with like her having seen Chris's butt before, or just knowing that of course Chris is the only one to wear a Speedo.
Right.
Or just, she just like, I don't know, you look at the hair and you're like, that's Chris.
She was like, I'd know my man's butt anywhere. She goes up to Joey's and she goes, this one's kind of a playful butt. It's got to be Joey, and writes it down, nails it.
Nailed it.
On the mark. So funny.
Mm-hmm. Crystal. Dude, everyone said Crystal lingered the longest.
Yeah, that she
amongst
just like
all the
spent
women.
her time. I wonder if it was that she was enjoying it or if it was that she really wanted to get
win.
it right. Because she was talking about how badly she wanted the date to go out with Stacy because she's feeling a little bit insecure with Shauna entering the house and worried that Shauna is capturing his attention.
Yes.
So she was spending a lot of time, and it wasn't like her getting in there and being like really handsy. It was her like sitting there pondering.
Yeah.
Like feeling the butt, being like, could it be?
Mm-hmm.
But Is it?
Of course, still enjoying her time, like,
Yeah.
ooh, but like,
Yeah.
how do you even determine whose butt is who, you know?
I genuinely have no idea. And there is nothing less sexy than this challenge was, than a bunch of men's butts coming through walls
Yeah.
to just grope at. Rebecca and Shauna,
I don't think there's anything
honestly,
of note.
entirely unmemorable of their runs through it. They were just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's because they don't know any of the men. They don't know
Yeah.
guesses, so.
I remember Shauna coming out and like getting one right away and being like, oh, good for her. Good
Oh,
guess. That was
yeah,
strong.
yeah.
That was good.
Good ass.
good ass touching, I guess. The winners of this challenge, or
just
the one
winner.
singular winner of this challenge was Barbie.
Congrats, Barbie. I don't know how many you got right. They never told us.
They didn't, and they definitely cut out a lot of like the uninteresting parts of it,
Yes.
people grabbing butts. But you could tell from her run, you called it immediately. You're like, Barbie gonna win this? Is Barbie gonna get all of them?
The way they edited it, I'm like, she's the only one they like edited
Getting
to
multiple right.
right, so confident that I'm like, that makes it seem like she wins.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that's also how she did it.
Yeah.
Like I think she went and was like, okay, I know what this is. Okay,
Yeah, like she didn't hesitate. She didn't second guess herself.
no,
That's how you always win.
she knew
You
the
know?
butts.
She knew butts.
She knew her butts. And in her confessional after, she was like, I'm just a butthole girl.
She did say that.
I'm the butthole girl. I feel like she's getting more and more unserious as this goes on. Like she came in and was here to play the game and then was like, oh, this is a joke.
Yes.
Oh, this whole show is ridiculous. Understood. And she is just fully submitted to ridiculousness for the rest of the season. She's like, I'm not pursuing anyone else.
Yeah.
I've chosen the man that I'm interested in. Now I'm just going to be here to be a goofy little guy.
I
And
would do
love
that
it.
too.
Same.
Like if I knew who I already liked and I knew
Yeah.
they liked me back, why not just like treat it as vacation after that?
Yeah. Now she's just hanging out and having a good time. But they say that it's going to be a very romantic date that the winner gets.
Yes.
A very romantic solo date. And solo dates are pretty hard to come by right now.
Mhm.
A lot of them are group dates. So I think a one-on-one is pretty special.
Yeah. And to be honest, in that preview we saw, it kind of seemed like they got out of the house.
Oh my God. Could you believe it?
Can you believe?
So people that really wanted this date, Lynette really wanted this date, and it was making me so sad because she's like, this could be my chance to go out with Anthony.
Mhm.
And like, I didn't want her to win because I'm like, her going up and picking him when he did not pick her is so sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's so messed up. And he does not deserve that in any way. Crystal really wanted it to try and obviously kind of like figure out things with Stacy. We told you guys last episode, it is really not seeming like Stacy is that into Crystal.
He's not.
In this episode, when this
not.
challenge was starting, he was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having my butt grabbed by Crystal or Shauna.
He's not into her. Let's just call it what it is, okay?
It doesn't seem like he's into her. He's just not. He's
Yeah.
just not. And he's had every opportunity to.
Mm.
So
Makes me mad.
I know, right? I know.
And
I'm just
it's-
like, maybe he's just not.
I
in
just
the
like
space. I don't know what
want
it
him
is.
to say it.
Right?
You know, just like, can you have like an actual conversation
Yeah.
with Crystal and say like, hey, I'm not really feeling it. I
Yeah.
don't know if I will. We can still try, but this is where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
He's just not having that conversation.
He's
and if he is,
not.
we're not seeing it.
Right. Instead, we keep seeing like very one-sided conversations, which we see another preview of her being like, hey, I have attraction for you. And him being like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever. No, you
Uncomfortable.
No, you don't.
Okay, I have like a gap here in my notes because I think we were just losing our minds over how kind of nasty this challenge was. And this is coming up on the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But the next thing that I have here is something that Christina said. Do you have anything before
Oh my
that?
gosh, I don't actually.
There was one more moment between Anthony and Lynette where like he's made some food in the kitchen and like hands
Yeah.
her a plate and she is treating it like he has done something so like unbelievably like sweet and kind and like calls him babe and whatever. And I'm like, there's a bunch of people eating this food. Clearly he has just like made a
plate.
meal
Yeah.
and like made a plate for her.
Yeah.
And they're like sitting next to each other and that's something. But like she is searching so hard for
that validation.
exactly that she's like taking these crumbs from him and being like, that was so sweet. Like, see, I am number one. And I'm like,
yeah. She goes that. She says she's really happy that Rebecca is his like pick B and she's pick A or something
yeah,
like
she's
that.
like, I don't like him having basically a second choice, but I'm glad that I'm first.
The first, yeah.
And I'm like, he's not treating you like you are.
Yeah, no.
He's not acting like your first choice. Like, and I don't like that. I
Yeah.
don't like that one bit. And I think that she'll come around to realize that, but she's not there yet.
Yeah.
I think she's not there yet.
But the thing Christina says, I don't remember what led to this at all. But Christina says she's a girl's girl. And like, yeah, you probably are.
No.
But what we
No, you're
have
not.
seen.
I'm sorry. No, you're not. Must we remind you what you did to Jamie?
Like, you might be. We just haven't seen it.
A girl is their actions. A girl is just the summary of their actions to other girls. That is a philosophy to live by. And your actions have not been girl behavior on this. Now, I understand reality TV, it's edited. Now, none of our commentary, and I'll always remind you, none of our commentary on Too Hot for Love is about these people as human people outside of this reality show.
Mm-hmm.
Those are lives that we have no insight into and shouldn't have any insight into.
Mm-hmm.
This is our commentary on the person on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever character they are, how
Mm-hmm.
much of themselves that is, whatever. But on this show, Christina has not been a girl's girl. She has absolutely not been a girl's girl. We literally had the biggest, maybe, girls' betrayal
it was
of this entire season.
Unfortunately,
Perpetrated by Christina.
Christina was the one to literally instigate the betrayal.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's the only reason that we perked up when we heard "girl's girl."
She
Christina's
literally
a girl's
said,
"girl."
I mean, look, I'm a girl's girl. And we were like, what? Starting when?
Maybe we just haven't seen it, and like the biggest thing that happened on the show was because of Christina. So we just can't determine that ourselves.
Agree to disagree, Christina.
we just don't know.
I'll just agree to disagree that
I
Christina is a
don't.
girl's girl. I think that's a bold claim.
Don't know.
When your actions do not represent it. Then we have a confessional from Kelly being absolutely pissed because we see a preview of Rebecca and Connor. God, his name will never stick with me.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca and Connor making out in the hot tub. So
Yeah.
this is clearly, it looks like it follows after the sauna
yeah,
that we're seeing right now.
Basically, Rebecca gets into the sauna with David and Connor,
Mhm.
and she's saying like, "What do you wear? Like, what do you wear there?" And David
Uh-huh.
and Connor, being like the sleaze bags they are, they're like, "Nothing."
Possible. But hey, she's throwing it right back because when they're talking about going to the hot tub, she's like, "Oh my God, can we go nude?"
Yeah.
Which, like, good for her. Have at it. I love it.
Well, I love the way she said that because she was like a woo girl about it.
Yeah.
Whereas like David and Connor were like, she's like, "What do we wear?" And they're like, "Nothing." Nothing. Little as possible. Like they're
100%.
trying to get her naked. Like,
Do you remember what she said?
what'd she say?
I've never been with an uncle and nephew before.
That's right. Okay, so basically, there's like this weird, like, I don't even know, comment she said about like making the sauna turning into a date and was like, "I've never been with an uncle and nephew before.
What are you planning on? Are you about to be?
Have you done others before?" Like,
What other? Hey, if you were to make a list of the other dynamics in which you have dated together, what would that list look like? Would
What?
it be long? And this is not slut shaming. This is curiosity.
yeah, it's
I just want to know.
it's the implication of saying before. You
Yeah.
know? Like, I haven't been with this before. You
Which
know?
means like I've encountered a lot of other types of duos.
yeah.
You know?
It's also the implication of saying nephew and uncle instead of just saying I've never been with two people who are related before.
Yeah, that
That's-
means for sure. I honestly think that like I think it was a Kodoroku in our live watch of it that was
Yes.
like, so what family dynamics have you been with? What other types of pairings have you engaged with? Just wondering, just asking for us.
Yeah,
And again,
out of curiosity.
not a slut shaming thing. Really just curious.
'Cause I
genuinely want to know.
I know there's like a huge kink for twins, and I'm gonna put this out there. I do know twins who have. I do. So I know that's like a big thing.
Okay, that's ick.
I know. I do know twins, or they just say they have and they haven't. You know
That's
what I mean?
also gross.
But like, it's not something they hide, but it's also not something they gloat about. And this was like years ago. I will say that. So maybe she's been with twins before,
or a father son.
father son.
I don't know.
I don't know if I
wanna
could
know.
see that ever, but like,
I don't know, but I want to know.
Just
I don't know.
two siblings
Here's what I do
of
know.
the same gender,
Yeah.
you know?
Look, I know Rebecca checked out our last episode. Hey, thank you, Rebecca. Shout out to you. Thank you for the kind message. Let us know.
You know, we're just so
Let us know what you meant by
curious.
that comment. We're very curious.
Also,
what you meant by that.
If the producers were like, can you actually say that again, but say uncle and nephew? Oh
Yeah.
my God. They're doing people so dirty.
You're so right.
They're doing people so dirty.
We then get a confessional from Kelly in the preview talking about Rebecca, saying that like Rebecca's just so thirsty, which is incredibly bold coming from Disco Mommy herself. That is not game recognizing game, I'll tell you that much. Where she says as we say in California, she's just thirsty. And I'm like, hi, as a Californian, please do not loop us into this.
We're not
I
a part
want
of this.
no part of this. Absolutely not. That is not locally a Californian thing.
No,
Thirsty?
it's not. I would almost say it's an internet thing.
It is an internet thing. It is like realistically another thing that is just a borrowed term from Black culture that became an internet thing,
Yeah.
and like a Gen Z term, which usually
Yeah.
just means that like it's AAVE and
Yes.
appropriated by internet culture. But sure, go off, Kelly. Whatever, I guess. Yeah, I guess as we say in California, sure.
Sweet. Sure.
Fine. And then we see a preview of the upcoming very romantic solo date.
Oh my gosh. They're smashing little grapes with their feet. Both Barbie and Chris, the feet couple.
It's perfect for them. I swear. I wonder if this was going to be the date no matter what, or if they specifically did it as this date because these two just love stuff in their toes.
I feel like it has to be the date no matter what because they have to plan these things, right?
Yeah.
They have to, if they're going to a real place, they have to like set a reservation, get some permits, like sign some waivers and stuff.
Can I tell you?
Huh.
I think it's still on the property.
Oh my God. If it is, they just bought a bucket from Costco, bought a bunch of grapes from Costco,
think so.
went outside and they're like, step on some of these grapes.
Because it was also delivered by a card and there was nobody there like teaching them to do it.
You're so right.
So I'm like, if they were going somewhere, I feel like there would be like, I don't know, I feel like I've seen people go do it where they like make wine.
Yeah.
What they're doing is making wine.
They are making wine.
And I feel like there's a person like walking you through it.
Probably.
Um,
That makes sense.
it's so interesting how much they avoid bringing other people into this. Like, it almost feels like this season was shot during like the peak pandemic by how much they're like not leaving the house and doing any of these things. But realistically, I think it's just a budget issue. I'm hoping that it sounds like a lot of people are watching this season, and I'm hoping that that means the budget is a little more increased for season 3, and you can bring on 2 wonderful hosts that are passionate about the show and cool and young and hot
Hip.
and
Just, I don't know.
yeah, educated.
Who knows where we can find any?
I mean, if anyone knows 2 cool, young, sexy hosts.
It's us. It's us.
It's us.
It's
Hi.
us.
Hi. We would very much be interested. As we've said, we'll do it for a very reasonable rate. But I do think your show would be greatly improved by having
Yeah.
somebody there to lead these challenges.
Saige's rate is reasonable. My rate's getting lower and lower. It's now at $20 an
Yeah.
episode.
We can talk.
Yeah.
TLC, shoot us an email. Let us know.
Okay, we get that date.
Yeah, we get a little preview of the date, and that is the end of the episode.
Wait, there's more.
Wait, what else in the preview?
So in the preview, we also see just the house playing Truth or Dare.
Oh, yeah.
And Stacy dares Shauna to have a glass of wine with him outside in the backyard.
I think he literally says, like, go on a date with me.
Yeah.
He says, like, date.
That's crazy.
And you see Crystal just like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa. Oh, my God.
I feel like that's evidence that he is into Shauna, right?
Clearly, 100%.
And that he's just not into Crystal. I think the whole like not ready to date thing has some like truth to it, but if the right person comes along, you can definitely like push,
These men are
your
trifling.
motives a little bit. Yes,
Trifling.
These men should go to jail. Arrested.
Arrested. I'm stunned. I'm shocked. I'm devastated. But also, why would I ever expect more from these people?
Why would we?
Why did we let ourselves?
So
Look,
sad.
we never really had super high hopes for Stacey, honestly.
That's
From
so
the beginning,
true.
honestly, our expectations were really low of Stacey.
Well,
He was a
as-
bad dad, and we knew
Yeah.
that.
As soon as we heard he like didn't contact Miles for years, we
Yeah.
were like, oh, There's nothing more we could do for him.
Yeah.
There's nothing more.
Okay, well, good luck, everybody, I guess. It's a spicy preview of the next episode. It seems like a lot is happening next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm dreading it as well. It seems like it is full of betrayals. I honestly love that Rebecca is already making out with somebody else. That's what Anthony deserves. I love that she's like, what do you mean I just got here? I'm meeting people and having fun. That's correct of her. And he should know that he's nothing.
Dude, she's like full blown making out with Connor on top of him in the hot tub.
Yeah.
So funny.
Here's the thing. Connor, obviously a more traditionally attractive man than Anthony.
Yes.
Anthony, you need to know that what you had going for you was being the sweet and charming guy.
Yeah, you are funny. You're charming. You obviously now are a smooth talker. Smoother than we know. Smoother than we thought you were.
If you're a little weirdo creep, you really don't have anything going for you anymore, sir.
Yeah, what happened, man?
Ooh.
Dude, Connor obviously beats you in looks.
Yeah.
And Connor's not as smooth as you,
No.
talking wise.
No.
But damn, if you lost how charming you were.
What have you got? Now you're just a weird old guy. Now you're just a weird old guy.
You're just a weird old guy who likes to try to play both women at the same time.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's on you. And I hope that he is absolutely just like full of regret next episode.
All Anthony needed to do was set expectations with Lynette.
100%.
That's it.
What he needed to do was not take the approach of like, I know that you have trust issues. I know that like you don't feel safe around men. Like, I want to be the person that makes you feel safe and comfortable. Like, I want you to sleep next to me. I want you to feel like safe.
Yeah.
And then be like, anyways, I'm going to go rub my entire body on somebody.
On that same first date, he should have been like, I still think we should keep our options open.
Yeah.
If new people come into the house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if we knew at that point new people were coming into the house.
No, I don't think people knew at all.
But like, even if it was a conversation of, if you start having an attraction for someone else in the house, we should let each other know, and we should just try to see where things go.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. If you are already at the point where you have taken this approach of being like, I want to show you what it's like to feel safe with a man. You know what you could do from there? You could simply, even if you're attracted to Rebecca, you could simply not pursue it.
You could just not do it.
It's so wild that you could just choose not to.
Don't do it.
Anyways, that is the end of episode 8 of season 2 of MILF Manor. It was one that had us absolutely screaming.
Screaming in different ways. Screaming in ways we want men to go to jail.
Yeah. Screaming about buttholes. Unexpected to be screaming about buttholes. That was a weird challenge, but it was fun. I liked it. Good job, TLC, on that one.
Yeah, it was really good. Also, I'd rather see that than people like licking, I forgot, maple syrup off people's backs. So that was, I like this one.
All of these challenges have been kind of gross.
Kind of gross,
except
such a fun way.
The Sexy Picks challenge.
Oh, yeah. All they needed to do was just have the men do it, too.
Yeah. I
That's
don't know.
it.
They didn't trust him with it. But they didn't. They didn't trust him with it. They really didn't. They were like, you can't hand a man a phone and be like, send it to whoever you want. That's how you get the internet.
Yeah.
And it's bad out there. So fair enough, I guess. Yeah, I think it would have to be a request only situation.
Yeah.
As it does have to be in general. But yeah, I look forward to next week. It's a very full preview. We've still got quite a few episodes left this season, and we've given up entirely on our string of connections.
Yeah.
Because connections
much.
just aren't lasting.
They're not.
They're really not sticking around here. It feels like they're a little bit like, I don't know, a little bit loose, a little all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like last season, people like latched onto the same person and held it all the way through, even though the connections were not very strong.
Yes.
But this season, people are all over the place.
Yeah. Like, a quick example is just Joey.
Yeah.
Because we don't know if he's making, like, serious connections with these women, because Shauna's, like, the third or fourth one now.
Yeah.
So, like, we would have to keep removing his string and putting it back up, and that was, like, that's a lot for every episode when something new happens.
Right. The only real connections that I feel like exist right now are Darren and Kelly.
Yay. Oh, and I guess Barbie and Chris.
And Barbie and Chris. Yeah. But those are, I think, the only two that are like real connections right
only
now.
'cause
I would have said Lynette and Anthony.
I would have too. Anthony is the one who's ruining this for us.
For us.
For us.
At the end of the day, this is about us.
It's about this podcast.
Don't forget it. Okay? Think of the podcast when you make your choices on this pre-recorded show that happened before this. I just want people, I think everybody, when they go on reality shows, should really think of the recap podcasts and be like, what would the hosts of the recap podcasts think of me if I did this? Mm-hmm. But you know what? You can help them do better by liking this video, subscribing to the channel. Mm-hmm. I
Sharing.
will have said this in the intro, but this podcast is going to be moving very soon to another YouTube channel. You can click on the link in the description below. I will try to put it in maybe like a pinned comment if it'll let me as well. So probably by like the next episode or so, we'll be moving it over there, maybe 2 episodes from now. I want to give people time to know where it's going to be so they aren't panicking, freaking out, wondering where their weekly dose of the MILF Manor recaps are. Mm-hmm. We're here for you. Don't worry. We'll just be in another location where you can get just the stuff you want, you know? So subscribe to that channel, please and thank you. But also still subscribe to this one. Also, especially if you like tabletop gaming, because that's a lot of what's going to be here.
Yeah.
Also, follow Kendelle.
Yeah, you can find me at Kendelle on all the socials. I currently do like theme park content, but that's going to change to people content. I'm going to follow people and see what they do.
Ooh.
Saige, where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at not Saige. I don't know what I do. I do this, I guess.
Saige does so much. Saige is a superwoman.
Well, I'm not.
Insane.
I'm just here.
I am so honored to do a podcast with Saige. It's crazy.
Be nice to me. Are you joking? Are you kidding me?
I'm a girl's girl.
Are you kidding me? I love you, and I think you're wonderful and incredible and talented and
also,
very cool.
Saige came to my birthday party, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. She actually showed up.
Why would I not come to your birthday?
I don't know. Sometimes you invite people, and you're like, I don't know if they'll show up. Am I cool enough? And then she stayed till the end of the night.
Yeah, we
that
punched
was wild.
things.
Oh my gosh, that machine where you like punch it and it tells you you're like how strong you are.
So strong,
dude. Me too.
I felt so great about that. That was really good for my confidence. You know what? On the spot, we came up with a new a new show that we're going to be doing. It's a secret, and we're not going to tell you about it yet. But just so you know, if you are enjoying our kind of reality show universe we're establishing here, this is not going to be the only type of content we're going to be doing for long. It's going to be great. Us just coming up with content ideas in the middle of a barcade.
Yes. Oh, that's where you gotta.
Yeah. Which Kendelle is not telling you. Today is literally currently her birthday. I literally texted her and I was like, hey, we don't have to record tonight on your actual birthday. Yeah. We celebrated over the weekend or on Friday. And I was like, wait, today's your actual birthday. Why don't we not record? And you're like, no, I want to record.
You see, I'm not the type of person that's like, today's my birthday. I have to do the birthday things. Yeah. No, I'm going to do birthday things when it's convenient.
Yeah,
you know? So that's a Friday, not a Sunday.
Everybody in the comments, you had absolutely better wish Kendelle a happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm the big 1/8/18. Wait, I'm actually not, but... What? Yeah.
Anyways,
all right.
That's it. Thank you very much for watching.
Daddy's out.
Daddy's out.